Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture for the course Applied Thermodynamics. Myself Sumit Bardia, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering, Sharad Institute of Technology, College of Engineering, Etra. Today we will go for calorific value of fuel under Fuels and Combustion chapter. In this lecture we will cover calorific value, types of calorific values, higher calorific value, lower calorific value, calculation of net calorific value, and theoretical calculation of calorific value. Calorific value. The term calorific value is most commonly used in conjunction with the combustion of fuel. The calorific value of fuel is defined as the amount of heat energy liberated by complete combustion of unit quantity of a fuel. It is also called heating value of the fuel and can also be considered as an absolute value of enthalpy of combustion. It is used to identify the efficiency of a fuel. For example, wood has calorific value of 17 kJ per gram, and the amount of heat can be measured by various units such as calorie, kilocalories, BTU, that is British thermal unit, and CHU, that is centigrade heat unit. There are two aspects of relation for heat of formation and calorific value which should be kept in mind. The calorific value of fuel is the absolute value of enthalpy of formation or reaction, but expressed per unit quantity of fuel rather than the products. By convention, the calorific value is positive. It has opposite sign convention to that for enthalpy of formation or reaction. There are two types of calorific values are available. Basically, all fuels are hydrocarbons, thus their main constituents are carbon and hydrogen. During the combustion process, carbon burns to a carbon dioxide and hydrogen reacts with oxygen and forms water vapor. The magnitude of the calorific value depends on the phase of water vapor in the combustion products. When combustion products are cooled to a reactant's temperature, the water vapor gets condensed and the heat of its vaporization is recovered. The calorific value thus obtained is called higher calorific value. That is higher, or it is also called as gross calorific value. The lower calorific value or net calorific value is the amount of heat released by complete combustion of unit quantity of fuel when the vapor carries its heat of vaporization. Higher calorific value is nothing but the total amount of heat liberated when a unit mass of fuel is burnt completely. The products of combustion are cooled to a room temperature, that is atmospheric temperature. When a fuel containing hydrogen is burnt, the hydrogen is converted into steam. If the combustion products are cooled to a room temperature, the steam gets condensed into water and latent heat is evolved. The latent heat of condensation of steam is also included in the gross calorific value. So, a good fuel always possesses higher calorific value. Then next is lower calorific value. It is defined as net heat produced when unit quantity of fuel is totally burnt or completely burnt. The products of combustion is always allowed to escape. Under normal working conditions, water vapors produced during combustions are not condensed and escape as such along with the hot gases. Hence, lesser amount of heat is available, which is called lower or net calorific value. There are certain calculations to get the net calorific value. So here the formula is net calorific value is nothing but gross calorific value minus latent heat of water vapor. So net calorific value equal to gross calorific value. Latent heat of water vapor means weight of hydrogen multiplied by 9 multiplied by latent heat of water vapor. So what is 9 here? So here 9 is coming from hydrogen in the fuel reacts with oxygen to give water. So H2 hydrogen reacts with the oxygen which we are getting as a water, H2O. So 2 molecules of H equal to half O2 equal to H2O. So 2 parts of hydrogen, 16 parts, that is molecular weight of oxygen is 32. So half O2 is nothing but 16 parts. That is nothing but H2O means 16 plus 2, 18 parts. So for 1 part equal to 8 parts of oxygen, which will give you 9 parts of H2O, that is water. For example, 1 kg of hydrogen with 8 kg of oxygen will give you 9 kg of water. Thus, if the percentage of hydrogen is given, then the equation becomes NCV, that is net calorific value, equal to gross calorific value minus 9 by 100, that is percentage, multiplied by 587. What is 587? It is a latent heat of water vapor in terms of kilocalories per kg. So ultimately the equation becomes NCV equal to GCV minus 0.09 H multiplied by 587. That will give you the net calorific value, where H is nothing but the percent of hydrogen in the fuel. Next slide is about the theoretical calculation of calorific value. Previously we have seen the net calorific value calculation. Now we need to calculate theoretically calorific value. How to calculate calorific value? So if both hydrogen and oxygen are present, it is assumed that oxygen are already combined. So we have discussed that 1 part of hydrogen reacts with the 8 parts of oxygen of its weight to form water. This fraction is then deducted from the hydrogen content of the fuel in the calculation. Thus, for a fuel containing carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, sulfur, the calorific value is given by Dulong's formula. So Dulong's formula is used to calculate theoretical calorific value. So what is that? Calorific value equal to 1 by 100 808C carbon plus 34,500 H, that is hydrogen, minus oxygen divided by 8 plus 2240 S sulfur kilocalories per kg. These values are kilocalories per kg values, where C, H, O, S refer to a percent of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur respectively. So that is the way to calculate theoretical calorific value, and this formula is used to calculate calorific value of any fuel. Experimental determination of calorific value of fuel. The apparatus used for determining the calorific value of fuels is known as calorimeter. The basic principle used in determining the calorific value of fuels is that a known quantity of fuel is burned in controlled environment and the heat energy liberated is transferred to a medium of known mass and specific heat, and the rise in temperature of the medium is measured. Though there are various types of calorimeters are available, we shall only discuss bomb calorimeters and Junkers gas calorimeters used for determining the calorific value of fuels. So first one, that is bomb calorimeter. The calorific value of powdered and liquid fuels is determined at constant volume in the bomb calorimeter. It resembles the shape of a bomb and thus it is known as bomb calorimeter. It is shown in figure. The fuel is burnt in the strong steel chamber known as bomb, which is immersed in a known mass of water. The fuel sample is placed in a crucible inside the bomb, which is fitted with oxygen under a pressure above 25 atmosphere. It is then ignited by an electrically heated platinum wire. The combustion thus takes place at constant volume. The fuel burns almost in a constant pressure environment due to the high pressure of oxygen. To reduce any losses of heat, the calorimeter is also provided with additional water jacket and air. A motor-driven stirrer stirrer is used to keep the water temperature uniform around the bomb, and an accurate thermometer is immersed in water to measure the temperature accurately. A known quantity of fuel sample as a briquette is placed into the crucible, and a fuse wire is connected with the electrodes as shown in figure. The bomb is then placed in a calorimeter with a weighted quantity of water. After making necessary connection, the stirrer is started and temperature measurements are taken every minute. At the end of 5th minute, a charge is fired and temperature readings are taken carefully every 10 seconds during the period. When the temperature readings begins to fall, the frequency of readings may be reduced to 1 every minute. After experimentation, the bomb is taken out from its housing. The products of combustion are released through the release valve. Then it is opened and unburned fuse wire is collected and weighted. The temperature time curve should be plotted for it. The measured temperature rise is corrected for various losses. The allowance for combustion of fuse wire is determined from the weight of the fuse and its calorific value. The water equivalent of a calorimeter must be used in calculation to accommodate its allowance. The heat released by combustion of fuel is absorbed by water surrounding the bomb and calorimeter. The bomb calorimeter measures higher calorific value of fuel. If a liquid fuel is being tested, it contains in a gelatin capsule and the firing may assisted by paraffin of known calorific value in the crucible. So that is about the bomb calorimeter. Next category is Junkers gas calorimeter. The calorific value of gaseous fuel is determined by Junkers, or it is also called as Boy's gas calorimeter. The metered gaseous fuel is continuously supplied to the calorimeter at constant pressure, where it burns in the presence of air as shown in figure. The products of combustion are cooled to the initial temperature of the reactants by continuous circulating of water. The gas temperature and pressure are measured and the amount of gas burned is referred to 25 degrees Celsius and 1.013 bar. The temperature rise of circulating water is measured and the condensate from the products of combustion is collected. This test is carried out for the fixed time period. The water flow rate and the weight of condensate are measured. In both the bomb calorimeter test and Junkers calorimeter test, the steam formed on the combustion is condensed and the heat of steam formation is recovered. Thus, they measure a higher calorific value of fuel. So, Boy's calorimeter, or it is also called as Junkers gas calorimeter, and bomb calorimeter both measures a higher calorific value. So, these two methods are widely used to determine the calorific value of fuel. Let's see a short video which will give you the clear idea about working of bomb calorimeter.
Pulverized coal is the fuel used predominantly in reheating furnaces in the steel re-rolling mill sector. Higher the calorific value of pulverized coal, lower is the fuel consumption in the furnace. The calorific value of any fuel can be determined in a laboratory using a bomb calorimeter. Generally, the gross calorific value varies between 4800 and 7200 kilocalories per kilogram. The major parts of a bomb calorimeter are an outer copper shell called calorimeter and the inner shell made of stainless steel where the fuel burns called bomb. Two fuse wires made of magnesium fixed to a 6-volt battery are used to ignite the fuel. A channel for the supply of oxygen is placed to help the burning of fuel. The steel shell or the bomb is enclosed inside the copper calorimeter. The calorimeter is closed from top using a copper lid. The space between the calorimeter and the bomb is filled with water. A mechanical stirrer is placed and on the opposite side of the stirrer, a thermometer is installed. The calorimeter is enclosed inside a capsule with an air jacket between the inner shell and the calorimeter and a water jacket between the inner and outer shells. During the process, fuel of a known quantity is placed inside the bomb and ignited. The bomb is filled with excess oxygen at 25 to 30 atmospheric pressure. The heat generated in the process is dissipated to water present in the calorimeter chamber. The mechanical stirrer is used to maintain a uniform temperature of the water. The amount of temperature rise in the water is noted using the Beckman thermometer. The gross calorific value or GCV of the fuel is achieved by the following mathematical process. Add the mass of water present and the water equivalent of the instrument. Water equivalent is an assumed value which assumes that the bomb is surrounded only by water, and it also assumes the amount of heat absorbed by water in this condition. Subtract the maximum temperature of water from the initial temperature of water. Heat absorbed by the apparatus would be determined by multiplying the results. Heat absorbed is equal to heat liberated by fuel. Gross calorific value or L is determined by dividing the result by the amount of fuel taken in the bomb crucible. Some subtractions are done in the above formulae. The heat dissipated from the acidic reactions, the calorific value of the cotton, the fuse wire used to ignite the fuel. At last, the rate at which the metal cools needs to be added. Thus, the formula looks like this, and the net calorific value NCV equals GCV minus 0.09 H into 587 calories per gram, where H is equal to the percentage of hydrogen in the fuel. The advantages of in-house test facility for gross calorific value are actual GCV of the fuel can be determined and cross-checked with the test report provided by the supplier. Poor quality of fuel can be rejected. The amount of air required for combustion can be pre-calculated theoretically based on GCV of fuel. Specific fuel consumption can be reduced substantially using good quality of coal. A bomb calorimeter can be effectively used for determining GCV for effectively any solid or liquid fuel. Normally, bomb calorimeter of this size would cost around 50 to 70,000 rupees.
So we will stop here. We will continue the fuels and combustion in the next lecture. Thank you.